It's been absolutely spectacular, but now the launch weekend for Path of Exile 2 Return of the Ancients is coming to an end. Yes, we hit an all-time new peak for 0.5, the second most players ever in Path of Exile 2 for a patch. We're discovering tons of new, powerful, game-changing items and mechanics to do with literally one-shotting bosses with minions. GGG is patching the heck out of the game, fixing bugs, and more individuals are unfortunately running into game-breaking problems in the endgame. Those who are clearing it all to pave the way for us, I thank you for your service. All that and more in this Path of Exile 2 news video. I'm Talkative. Try. If you like the content on my channel, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more of it. Let's dive right in. First off, have to briefly mention it. We hit a new peak for 0.5, 421,000 players on Steam alone. This does not count standalone. This does not count console. This is not even counting Chinese realms. Lots of people are playing this Path of Exile 2 update. We grew on Sunday, which is great to see. I don't think we'll grow going into Monday. I think this is the peak, but it's great to see the interest in this Path of Exile 2 patch, and it proves that the work Grind Gear Games has put into improve the campaign experience, the end game experience, and to advertise this to more players definitely worked, and it's setting it up for a strong 1.0 launch this year. Despite all the fun that people are having, there are some critical issues that GGG is addressing, particularly in the endgame. Now, I have just recently reached the endgame. I played it for about 6 hours now. I'm progressing my initial quest line, so I've not run into any of these. It appears a lot of the progression issues occur when very specific things that are likely to happen, and it's deep into progression, and all of them are fixated on the quest lines. GGG is aware of all the issues and they are actively working to address them. There is another critical error, a bug that has been in the game since the beginning of 0.5. If you haven't noticed it, I'm absolutely shocked. But if you have any sound effects on your item filter, they have not been playing at all. There has been 0 divine tinks in 0.5 so far, which is shocking to see the player count continue to rise despite the lack of dopamine inducing sounds in the game. Pretty crazy. And they know that there are some client issues still occurring. There are some lag spikes going on right now. It's actually why I'm not playing and recording this video. I was playing with my wife, but the game kept lagging so much we had to log out and stop. So they are aware of what's going on with the crashes, and I think the servers are experiencing a bit of instability. They're aware of it all, and they are working on it, evidently. We'll talk about my Mugs progression in just a moment and the new characters I've started, but first I have to highlight this right here. Unique map bosses retain their map mods when tamed, and this is intended, so this is wild. If you don't understand what this means, it means if you tame, let's say, the monkey boss, the big quadrilla, on a specific map with increased attack speed, increased crit multi, and all that, he retains all those buffs. And according to Gazi and Zizarin and the devs at GGG, this is all intended behavior. This is leading to scenarios where these map bosses are easily one-shotting entire screens. I cannot believe this is in the game. I reckon it will be changed going into the mid-league balance patch or 1.0, because from the footage I've seen, it is rolling. So enjoy it on the Spirit Walker while you can. It's convinced me to roll a Huntress just to see the shenanigans I can pull in SSF, cobbling a build together of my own. And I am a certified minion hater. We're also discovering more and more unique items that weren't teased at all, including a revamp of a Path of Exile 1 classic split personality that allows you to allocate passives starting from different points of the tree. This means, for example, if you are a warrior and you have this jewel socketed, you can start to allocate points from the sorceress start. You can revamp your entire tree. It saves you a load of points. And this, of course, right here is a little hint at the shadow coming in, because yes, we are dropping split personalities from unreleased classes starting points, I guess. I also briefly wanted to dive back into the massive problems ongoing with Endgame. The stuff outlined in this post is nowhere near exhaustive. In fact, what I've heard from a lot of my friends who are deeper in Endgame, who thankfully have not spoiled me, and I've seen the sentiment online while surfing a tad, is that this is the buggiest Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile release of all time, especially in the Endgame. And you know, it makes sense. They were incredibly ambitious with this update, and they changed literally the entire endgame and introduced a load of ridiculous content into this patch. There's no way they tested it all. It's a good thing we're in early access and we are the testers here, because if this was the state on 1.0 and they weren't able to rapidly fix it and brand new players were somehow running into it, you know, it would be a sorry state of affairs. But that's not the case here. We have the blasters who are clearing the endgame super fast. They're finding the progression bugs. GGG is ironing them out, and hopefully they're all fixed in rapid time. I would rather have this than something that's static and just on tracks that GGG would easily be able to test, but that's not the way Path of Exile 2 works. There's so many different factors as to what can happen in your maps, how you can change them, how you can juice them, what way you can approach them in, and they definitely couldn't factor in absolutely everything with their team of 250 or so people. So we are the testers and we are testing. Their job is to fix it, and hopefully that's done soon. So, buggiest release of all time? Okay, but I think it's worthwhile. I also had to bring attention to some new client options in the game to do with the UI. You can now resize your UI text size, the in-world labels of the actual loot filter buttons and icons, and the quest tracker. You can even hide the quest tracker. There are also a couple other things that you can change here, which is just great to see GGG expanding what UI elements we can manipulate. I'm really hoping we can see a centered UI like we do for controller on mouse and keyboard, or WASD, one day. Keep that stuff coming, Grinding Gear Games. And just one more time, a peek at PoE Ninja to look at the breakdown of ascendancies between level 70 and 98. This means they are in the actual endgame. There's really no change from the day one numbers. We have Martial Artist at the very top, Spirit Walker close behind, Twisters, Minions, and the like, and then Deadeye. Far fourth is Tactician. But if you actually narrow down this range to 90 to 98, you actually see that Spirit Walker and Deadeye overtake the Martial Artist. This is telling me that the Martial Artist is petering out a little bit in endgame, whereas these two are able to push their way through, almost as if they've been more figured out. I think the majority of these Spirit Walkers, if I filter down to this, are yes, indeed using Twister. So that does actually track. We have the Spirit Walkers using Twister. We have the Deadeyes using Ice Shot and Snipe, progressing very quickly. And then we have the Martial Artists who are still finding their footing. There are people using a variety of different things here that's not uniform, nowhere near as uniform as the Deadeye and the Spirit Walker. So Martial Artist is being figured out not only by those players, but by me as well in my own special way. I'll throw a little montage on screen, but today I tracked all the way through the rest of the campaign, hit endgame at hour 11, and hit a roadblock almost immediately on my first powerful map boss with Hollow Form technique. I was bashing my head against the wall, even though I was having a load of fun discovering the new endgame quest line, which I'm not going to give a lot of spoilers here, but they laid it out very well. We'll talk about that at a later date. I was hitting my head against this wall, the dig site map boss, my first powerful map boss, and I decided, okay, maybe I'll swap to Quarterstaff and see what happens, and that was the best decision I've ever made. It is unfortunate that Hollow Palm technique falls off so quickly, but the moment I did that, I 3-shot the boss. I literally went from the vision gameplay, dodging, sweating my butt off, to 3-shotting the boss with a crap Quarterstaff I cobbled together in a couple of minutes to use on my last attempt on the boss. It's cool. It's fun, but man, Hollow Palm, it's a little weak. I'm continuing with the Falling Thunder grind right now. Whirling Assault is just not tempting to me, so I'm gonna try to make this particular build work, generating the power charges with the bell. I still need my 3rd ascendancy. I'm going to try to push through that tomorrow and maybe get to T10 maps by midweek this week. I'll keep you all updated on that, but I also started a warrior off stream and I am cruising through the campaign. I have to give a shout out to GGG. Removing half a second from the attack time of rolling slam feels so much better, and I really think that showcases that if they just chill out a bit on the added attack time, a lot of these mace skills will feel phenomenal. Maybe even just allow a little bit of movement while we're using them. Rolling slam is buttery. I love it. I've whammed through Act 1. I'm going through Act 2, and I've just been thoroughly enjoying this style of play, unlike I have before on the warrior with rolling slam. So keep those changes coming to mace skills grinding your games. I also said I gave in. I started a huntress. I'm going to try to do a tame beast boss build on SSF. I've got a repertoire of characters already. I even started a merc with my wife. We progressed a little bit through the campaign. We played for about 25-30 minutes before the lag overtook us. As you can probably tell, I'm having a blast with this league. I unfortunately have to return to work, but not before I give my brief thoughts on the Runes of Aldur mechanic. The campaign, it was phenomenal, guys. I think it could use a little bit of improvement in terms of clarity as how to progress, because so many people got lost, and there's some incorrect text in Act 4. In the end game, it's hit or miss right now. I actually haven't seen many great rewards or runes. A lot of my Aldur mechanics have been related to ward, and I don't really want to invest in ward right now because I really need energy shield and evasion. Maybe I'll give it a go. I'm really hoping I get some juicy Aldurs to interact with very, very soon. But my fellow exiles, let me know, is the honeymoon over for patch 0.5 and Path of Exile 2, or are you still having an absolute blast? I think this is still a banger for me. Thank you if you're in the end game and you're ironing out all these issues and firing them for GGG. I really appreciate it. I hope the end game is nice and smooth for the rest of us once we get there. Let me know your thoughts about this patch in the comments below. And remember, if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. And go ahead, watch this next video on the screen right now. See ya, exiles.